Welcome back. Welcome back to another Beeline to Passports. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host, and tonight we have a special guest. This special guest, she is a producer and an actor, and her name is Ashley Aponte. Ashley, welcome to Beeline to Passports.
Hi, hello. Very excited to be here with you.
Thank you for accepting this invitation. And like every week, we ask our guests how everything started. We want to know about your childhood, your education. Also, we want to know um, how long you've been on this industry and all this great information.
Yeah, so basically I was born on December 8th, 2000 in New Jersey, and I moved to Florida when I was 4 years old. So I don't really know much about New Jersey. As a little kid, I grew up in a really normal home, Hispanic home. My dad is Puerto Rican, my mom is Peruvian. And yeah, and then I learned some Spanish from my mom because my mom only speaks Spanish. And we traveled here and there to other different countries. And it was a really fun time in my childhood, honestly. And yeah, so as a little kid, also, I was an athlete mostly. I started doing speed skating, inline speed skating around, I want to say 10 years old. And I was competing in competitions, going to nationals, regionals, that type of thing. And didn't really, I liked it obviously, because I was doing it for about like, I would say like 6 years, a good 6 years. But I wanted to stop because I kind of just wanted to start getting into acting because I've always loved acting. I've always wanted to be an actress, and seeing those kids on Disney Channel, seeing kids in movies and TV shows and being like, hey, I can do that. That sounds like a fun job. I would love to do that. So I started telling my parents, like, hey, I want to be an actress. Like, can I go to like acting school, do acting classes, do all that? So they put me in a program called John Casablanca's Modeling and Acting Agency. And it's also a school. And I was there for about 6 months and I graduated. And then after that, I didn't really do much acting, honestly, because I was focusing more on my school because I was still in high school, and I was working on making more money so that I would be able to like take myself to like castings because I was still having my dad drive me everywhere and I didn't have a driver's license yet. So I waited about like 2 or 3 years until I was 18 to get my driver's license. I graduated early from high school to be able to start acting. And yeah, and then from then on, I just was looking literally everywhere to see where I can do castings, where I can do all of this stuff. And there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of scams on like Facebook, and I did fall into those scams and did end up paying like $500 to do this or $200 to do that. And I didn't get any experience from that, and that was just honestly a scam. So it was really bad until I found on Facebook a Facebook group called OIF, Orlando Independent Filmmakers, in which I saw that they had so many casting calls and so many productions that are here in Orlando, which I didn't see any casting calls in Orlando beforehand. So this was really great. And so I started submitting myself. I took a headshot, literally just myself on my phone, and started submitting myself, put in a resume because I did like one musical in elementary school, and that was really all I had on my resume. And I just sent it off, and then I started getting into productions as background acting, being an extra, and literally whatever I can be on. I learned so many set terms. I learned what it is to be on set etiquette. I learned literally everything. And then recently now, I know I'm an actress now. I've been in a few movies now for OIF. even outside of OIF, some YouTube projects and some private independent filmmakers as well. I did some acting for them as well. And yeah, now I'm just in OIF trying to see what else I can be. I just recently, we just finished wrapping my film Silent Basement, which is going to be my first OIF film ever that I ever wrote, which is really exciting. And I can't wait to see it. My cast was amazing. The crew was amazing. And I couldn't have asked for literally anything better. And it made me find a love for producing, for writing, and for directing as well. I didn't direct Silent Basement, but I did assistant direct because I didn't know how to be a director. But now I know kind of how it goes into the industry. And now I just am waiting for the OIF Film Festival to see everybody again. I was in also Sleep Paralysis as well, also Beware of Her for this OIF project. So I can't wait to see that and hopefully get nominated for something. That would be so cool. So yeah, that's kind of how
Nice,
everything is
nice.
going on.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, yeah, in this industry, unfortunately, they have too many scams. Then you need to be careful, where you put your name, because sometimes they ask you for information and they ask you for money. And the money is for their benefit, not for your benefit as an actress or a person involved on this industry. And they have many opportunities, not only with the OIF, also they have the students films for Valencia College or for UCF or
Mhm,
for the full sale. Then they post in different areas. Then they're looking for students or for people that want to participate in their projects, and they give you the experience, and from there you continue, and they have basically you can put your name or the name of that project on your resume and continue
mhm,
moving forward with all this career, and not only the career would grow on the different areas on the film industry, because like you mentioned,
I think the connection was lost.
get front on the camera, try to get something. Miss Ashley Aponte
Yes.
here in Beeline to Passport on GKI Radio. And we're going to get more and more information about her. Okay, let's take this first commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Ashley Aponte here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from commercial break. Great music, and you're listening GKI Radio. This is your show, Be Line to Passports. I'm Joe Batista. I'm your host, and tonight we have a special guest. She is an actor and also a producer. Her name is Ashley Aponte. Ashley, on the previous segment,
Mhm.
we were talking about your projects, and also the career, and basically started with Joan Casablanca, and then you started getting some of these opportunities. Um, what was the project that you started? You mentioned that you started a first project. Where in the center Florida?
Yes, it wasn't Florida, it was for Ghost Traders. I want to say it was near Altamont Springs. It was for Ghost Traders at the Kuna Stunt Film School. It was very scary. It was my first set that I've ever been on. So I didn't know really what to expect. So I got the call sheet. I was like, okay, I will be here at this time. I'll be here 30 minutes early. So I get there. I think the call sheet was like at 12. So I got there at 11:30, just to make sure that I didn't need anything, that I'm okay, like I look good, like I'm dressed okay, like that. And so once I got there, I checked in with somebody, and then after that, I didn't know what to do. It was more like everyone else knew what to do. Like everyone else was just sitting around and just waiting, I guess, for them to be calling us to go on set. And I was just like, oh, am I supposed to do something else? I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to the director. Am I supposed to talk to somebody else? Or I don't know anyone to talk to. So I was very much freaking out a little bit. And I saw people with like lawn chairs. And I was like, oh, dang, I did not bring a lawn chair. And I probably should have, because it's outside. And I knew it was outside. So I didn't think about that. But now I know to bring a lawn chair. I definitely have one now handy that's always in my car, in the trunk of my car. So yeah, so what I didn't know was, so my call time was at 12, but I didn't go on to set until 2 hours later, around 2 or 2:30, around that mark. And I was like, why am I waiting around so long? Shouldn't I have just been here and then done my scene and then left? But no, that's not how projects go, now that I know that. It takes a while to get some shots done. It takes a while for people to be on camera. It takes a while to get everything that the director and the DP, and to get everything that everybody needs, and then they can move on to the next scene. And it takes a lot of shots to do like this one like little scene, and then not even counting the takes, it probably will take a couple takes as well. And then they can move on to the next scene, which I didn't understand that at first. I didn't know anything about how behind the scenes works. And now I do. So yeah, I was sitting around waiting for like 2 hours. They had crafty. So I ate like a hot dog. It was really, it was good. And I didn't have any breakfast in that morning. And yeah, they finally called us to set. And the director was like, here, just go here and just walk and sit down and then have a scared look on your face. And I was like, got it. And I was like there with like 12 other extras. And yeah, so we just formed a line, we sat down and then did that. And we did that like 10 times. And I was like, wow, we're doing this so many times. I wonder if it's me. Did I do something wrong, or is this wrong or that wrong? But no, it wasn't. There's a lot of things that happen during shoots like that. Like the lighting could be wrong, the sound could be off, the blocking wasn't done correctly. There's so many things that go into just like one shot that I did not know about. So I was like, okay, we did this like 20 times, and hopefully they got the take. And they did after like 20 times, and I was like, wow, and that was it. And my scene was literally, it took like an hour to 2 hours to film. And I think it only made it into like under a minute of the film. So that was very interesting to see how that all plays out behind the scenes. And it made me have an appreciation for like everybody, like the director, the AD, the DP, the producer. It made me have so much respect for them, because this takes so long and so much patience to be able to do, that I was like, oh, maybe I would do this one day, because, I love acting, but also like directing and ADing and producing sounds so fun as well because you're so hands-on with it. You know what everyone is doing. You know exactly what you want. So yeah, that kind of made me have an appreciation for that and wanting to probably get into doing more behind the scenes stuff as well, which was really exciting. And from then on, I started auditioning like crazy because my love for acting grew after that one movie, and now I'm just here doing more, and it's so exciting. Let's see. Another project that I was on was Beach Chain. That filmed, I think, in the middle of last year. That set was a lot more difficult. That set was okay. So for that set, my call time was at 8 a.m. and I wasn't filming until like 1 p.m. And mind you, this is in Fort Myers and it was on a beach. And it was a very, very, very excruciatingly hot day. It was a very hot day, and it was. I didn't have my lawn chair still. I didn't bring a lawn chair. I should have. I should have known, but that's on me. So we were there, and I was trying to talk to other people, but other people were like busy doing other things. Like it was more of like a bigger production that I did not expect, and it was one of the more hectic sets that I've been on, I guess I would say. So like I didn't know who the director was, I didn't know who the writer was, I didn't know who anybody was. I had no idea who anybody was because no one was really talking to somebody unless they knew them, kind of thing, which was weird. And that wasn't really the sets that I was on, like before on like Ghost Trader, like how we were all talking to each other. Like no one was really talking to each other on this one because I think it was just because it was so incredibly hot and we were all kind of just like wanting like sunblock, wanting to get in the shade, but there was no shade. There was just a canopy, and the canopy was for hair and makeup. There was a canopy for director, for AD, and for other people. It was very hectic. It was definitely one of the more crazier sets that I've been on, and I didn't go on until 1 p.m., which was very insane to me, especially because of how hot it was. I think that set could have been done a lot better. I don't want to speak like too bad on it, but that was just my experience as a background actress. I feel like they could have done a lot better with treating the background actors a little bit better, making sure that they're accommodated, making sure that they have everything they need, making sure that they know they're in shade and they're not dying from the sun. So yeah, I think that set could have been done a lot better. And I didn't leave that set until at least 6. So I was there from 8 a.m. to 6 in the hot sun for that long, almost what was that, like 12 hours, something like that. And once I got into my car, I literally like passed out because of how hot it was. It was that hot, and I turned my AC all the way up. I literally slept in my car for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I started driving like 2 hours back home, which was very hard to do. And I haven't heard much from Beach Chain since. I think they're still editing it. I'm in the group chats for them, but no one's really said anything. So hopefully, I'll hear something back from them and I can watch the premiere. Hopefully, maybe this year. I think some people have rumored it to be in August that the premiere is going to be in, but I have no idea when the official date is.
Yes, and and I heard other actors. then teach them how to work on this industry because there was beach and no shade, no water, no food. Very hectic, most definitely.
Yeah.
And we will continue learning more about your story. And let's get more information about your career and all this great stuff. We're going to a short commercial break, but remember, drop your comment or question you would like to hear them answer on the show. The number is 407-476-9059. Remember to say my name, Joe Batista, followed by your name and your question or comment, and you all could also hear it here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from commercial break. Great music, and you're listening GKI Radio. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host on this show, Beeline to Passports, Mondays at 8 p.m. And tonight we have a beautiful Miss Ashley Aponte. Ashley, we talk about these projects. Then you have been involved in some of these projects. First project, very nice. You learn a lot. In another project, then you was hectic. No food, no water, no shade. Basically, you spend most of your time waiting and basically getting a free suntan without sunblock, and then spend time on your car, sleep on your car several hours
Mm.
because you pass out just to get some energy and some rest before driving back to the Orlando area. Now, when we talk about that, basically what's the past. Now the projects. On the first segment, we talk about some project that you've been involved with the OAF and your first movie that you wrote and also you co-direct. And tell me more about this project. And not only that, if you've been thinking, writing more and having this also like a next title will be also a writer.
Mhm. Yeah, so Silent Basement, I just finished wrapping that one. It's the first thing I've ever written ever. I mean, I've written other stuff before, but those were like when I was younger and I was writing like little TV shows, little screenplays, little movies that I just had ideas about. They mostly come in the form of dreams that I've had, and I think it would be a cool idea to shoot for a movie or a TV show. But for this one, I saw that Sefia LaRusso, who's one of the coordinators for OIF, she posted the genres for this OIF project, which were no dialogue, romance, and horror. And I was like, okay, maybe I can, write something for the first time. I think that'd be really cool to do. And I was debating on, oh, should I write or oh, should I like do focus more on acting or do the writing part? And I was like, let me just do writing. It's a fun thing and I've never done it before. And OIF is literally the place to do anything new that you want to do there. So I decided to write a script and submit it. And yeah, so the idea for Silent Basement came kind of like in the form of a dream a little bit, where I can talk a little bit about it. So basically, the log line is a young woman who is deaf and lives alone in her house. Keeps finding things that are missing in the house, and she just is fed up with it and starts placing cameras everywhere. And then she sees something kind of shocking. We won't know what the shocking thing is until the end, so I won't spoil it for anyone. But I wrote it in that concept because I've seen a movie. I don't know what the title of the movie is, but it was a deaf woman. It was like a deaf woman who was being robbed or being stalked by someone and who's trying to get inside her house, I think, to kill her. So I think that played into it a little bit. And yeah, so I wrote it and I was like, okay, it got submitted. And then they posted what got in after they screened the writers. So I was like, okay, now I need to find a whole crew now, because I didn't know this was going to ever be, like, I didn't know if I was ever going to submit it. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was so excited when it got like submitted and it got authorized. So I was like, okay, let me put out a casting call right now for directors, for gaffers, for grips, for ADs, for this, for that, and everything. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know how much it takes to put out these casting calls and for people to write back. That's one thing that was very stressful, because I had put out that casting call and only a few people had answered about wanting to do director of photography, to do this, to do that. At the time, literally when I first put out the casting call, only like one PA that was my best friend was like, oh, I'll help you with the script. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. So yeah, and then like during the beginning of June, like in the middle of June, I had found a director who was willing to direct this with me, which was very exciting. And I went into this project wanting to just know the behind the scenes of everything. I just wanted to know how stuff works. And I wanted to be the AD in this one. I already knew I wanted to be the AD and not the director, because I didn't know anything about directing. I didn't know any of the terms. I didn't know what scenes meant. I didn't know what takes were. I didn't know what shots were, shot lists, script supervisors. I didn't know what anything was. So I was like, okay, it'd be more better if I was just the AD on this and just let the director handle the directing part of it. So that's what I did. I got a director who means a lot to me. Her name is Christina Sells. She gave me my first lead role that I've ever been on. It's called The Breakup. It was in the OIF Jolt Challenge. I think it was the Jolt Challenge, maybe the challenge before that, I think. And I had never been the lead in anything before that. It was my first ever lead role, and it could not have been on a better set, on a better crew, on a better cast. It was the most wonderful experience that I've ever been on. So I really thank her for that. And she didn't direct that one, but her husband did, Candido Soto. He recently passed away, which is really sad. And I wanted him to direct Silent Basement, but he had passed away. So I had asked Christina if she'd want to do it, and she said yes. And that was very amazing. So she came onto this project, and then I got other people interested, like Jorge Barba, who usually does like the photography for the OIF galas. He said that he'd want to come on and be like DP and help out. And then I met other people on other sets. So I was on another set called Sleep Paralysis. I was the lead in that one too. And I needed a sound person like really badly. So I had asked the sound person for that set to come and help me with my set. And he said yes. And that was amazing too. And then I had gotten a bunch of crew together. I got my gaffer, I got my director, I got my DP, I got my lighting person, which was very nice. I really needed a lighting person as well. And then I got my 2 PAs, which was all I needed. And I got that literally probably a week before we were supposed to start filming, and we were supposed to start filming on July 1st and 2nd. And the week beforehand was a little bit hectic, only because my original DP that I wanted to be on this project couldn't do it no more because of a family emergency. And that's when Jorge stepped up and was like, "Hey, I'll be your DP if that's okay with you." And I'm like, "Yes, that's totally fine with me. Yes, be my DP." So yeah, director of photography. So yeah, he decided to do that, and then my gaffer dropped out, so then I had to have someone else, one of the PAs help with gaffing and all that. So that was nice. And the first day of filming, wow. Whew, sorry, I've been talking a lot. The first day of filming for Silent Basement was July 1st. We were filming at a Airbnb house, and it was the most beautiful house. I would like to thank Kenny Isis for letting us use that house, because it was an amazing house. It's like a little beach house. It was so cute and nice. We filmed like 10 scenes in that house, and it was amazing. The crew, that was my first time ever being an AD. I did not know what an AD was. I did look up YouTube videos literally the day before, being like, what does an AD do? What should an AD know? What should an AD be doing and talking about, and all that kind of stuff? What is their role? And I figured it out literally within like 3 hours of filming. I figured out, like, as an AD, people are asking me all these questions: what scene we're on, what take we're on, what's the shot list, what's this, what's that, what's that. And I was like, oh my god, I love people asking me questions. It was really cool. And I finally knew what my role was, which was great, because in the beginning I was struggling with what an AD does. Even though I had looked up these YouTube videos, even though I had looked up articles on what ADs do, I was still struggling. And then I finally found my footing, and I was like, I am in love with being an AD. I love being an AD. I love all the hecticness that goes on with it. I love all the hecticness, the knowing what to do, knowing what people need to do, knowing what this shot's going to be, knowing what this take is going to be. Literally all of it. I kind of fell in love with it for July 1st and July 2nd of filming. July 2nd, I definitely had a better filming for the second day. I definitely knew what I wanted. I definitely knew who was going to do this, who was going to do that, what kind of shots I want. Do I want a close up, a medium shot, MOS shots? What do I want? And I did it. And being the writer on this and being the AD on this was a really wonderful experience, because you get to see what you wrote being brought to camera, and you can take the reins on it a little bit, especially with the director's help, because she knew what I wanted, and she had read the script, and she had even told me, like, hey, like, this is your baby. You can step in and say what shots you want for this, if you want a close-up shot or this and that, which was very amazing, because I got hands-on experience on what a director does, on what an AD does, on what everybody on the set does, and what everybody's role was. And that was what made this a very surreal experience to me. So the second day of filming, it was a very long day. It was 10 hours filming, and then we were filming a lot in the basement, getting a bunch of shots. And I had felt, by the end of it, I had never felt more accomplished on a set than that day. Not even as an actress, like as an AD, I felt so accomplished. I felt like I did so much. I felt like everybody worked so hard for this, and it just made the experience so awesome. And I can't wait to see it on the big screen. I can't wait to see how it came out. And yeah, I honestly cried a little bit afterwards, because I was like, wow, this is why I love being on sets, because of this experience, because of getting to know everybody, talking to everybody, getting to know their character, get their personalities, and now having friends for life, which is really amazing. And I can't wait to keep doing this for like the rest of my life. And I hope I get to do it on a level where I'm getting paid. So yeah, I'm so excited for what the future holds, honestly.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. In this industry, it's an industry, then we need to, some people and know people. And not only that part, the known people is to start working in network, because this and also you see people that you will not use on in future projects because they were not the appropriate person for in the project. But definitely, we want to see that film on the big screen. They're going to be basically next month. That will
Mhm.
be the day then we can see it and have the gala for the all these OIF
Yes.
projects that has been filming. All right, let's take another short commercial break, and when we come back, we will continue with your story. But people, thank you for being with us, learning about Miss Ashley Aponte here on GK, and we'll be right back with more of Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from commercial break. Great music, and you're listening GKI Radio and your show Beeline to Passports. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host, and tonight we have the beautiful Ashley Aponte. She is an actor, and also she is a producer, and very soon she will as a writer because she started already on that path. She already started with her first project, and very soon they're gonna be on the big screen for them. They're gonna be streaming basically or showing that on a screen on the screen on the big screen.
Mhm.
Ashley, what are your social media and also your IMDb that the people start following you, and
Mhm.
their plans for the next year and years from now?
Yes, so my Instagram is Aponte, APONTE underscore Ashley, and my IMDb is Ashley Aponte. And my future plans. I definitely want to continue acting. I love acting. It was my first love. I definitely will continue acting. I'm trying to get into an acting classes right now, an acting school, just so I can better improve my craft and see what I'm lacking because I know I'm lacking some things. So I definitely want to continue acting. I also want to AD on a lot more sets. I want to get that experience as an AD because it was so fun and invigorating and something that I've never really felt before on a set. Like I felt very important and very there and I knew everything that was going on. I loved that feeling. I loved it. Especially connecting with everyone. It was a really important feeling. So I definitely want to AD on sets and be a director as well. I definitely want to help. I definitely want to be a director on sets, I think, as well, which is very exciting. I definitely want to write more. Writing is something that now I have a love for. Now I want to do a lot more of. So you're probably gonna see me writing a lot, ADing a lot, probably submitting my resume, updating my resume for AAD, producing because I did produce Silent Basement as well. I didn't mention that, but I did produce it. I did do a GoFundMe for it. I did put some of my own money into getting the props, getting sets, getting all that done. So I did put some money into that as well. Um, I definitely need to learn more. That's one of my main goals as well is learning is I need to learn how to write better, a screenplay better, because I wrote this one. It wasn't, I wrote it great. I wrote it good, but not as good as it could have been. So I could write it better. So I'm going to take more writing classes as well. I know OIF does like OIF writing workshops, screenwriting workshops. So I definitely want to go to one of those one day. I definitely need to learn how to manage a set better, learn set etiquette. I'm slowly learning as I go on. I take notes of literally everything. Some things that I've learned, I learned so much from other people on sets, like learning who, like what you said, Jose, about people who you want to work with and people who you don't want to work with, which is something that is very, very real and and something that I'm definitely going to take with me, because it is a real thing of, because some people are better doing a drama set, or some people are better doing this or being a gaffer instead of a light. Like there's a bunch of different factors
Yes,
that go.
future.
I think your sound is off. I can't hear you. I think your sound is off. Like there's no sound.